And even after this latest crisis with FTX and the fraud, if you look at the hash rate of the Bitcoin network, it is at an all-time high. And that is how you measure the security of the network. The problem with FTX is it was a centralized entity run by effectively one person. That is the antithesis of Bitcoin.
The FTX collapse has rattled the cryptocurrency market like nothing else. Because of the fraud that was exposed, every fundamental of cryptocurrencies are now under scrutiny. Many investors have dumped their cryptocurrencies and decided to totally quit the market. But is this the beginning of the end of Bitcoin in particular? Cathie Wood, who is a strong believer in Bitcoin, predicted before the FTX collapse that before 2030, Bitcoin was most likely to reach a valuation of $1 million US. Right now, many experts and Bitcoiners are not so sure about their previous convictions of Bitcoin going to the moon. So why is Cathie Wood still certain Bitcoin is capable of this potential? Stay with us to find out.
Our starting point is from the top down. We are as bottom-up stock research driven as any other team out there. Our investment time horizon is 5 years. And as I mentioned before, we have both top-down, bottom-up research and the scoring overlay. So so the top-down is really what you're asking about now. Sizing this opportunity. How big is this going to be? Well, one of the first places we started was the remittance market. The remittance market, you'll have individuals, let's say from India, working in the United States, and they're remitting money back to their families as they do. And they're paying a toll taker. Often it can be 8%, but if you look at Nigeria, for example, it can go up to 25% or more. That is a terrible tax. If Bitcoin were the remittance mechanism, the cost would be de minimis, and the speed would be instant, right? Almost instant. So we sized that market. How big is the remittance market? It's $700 billion. They should go to Bitcoin. It absolutely should go to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the most secure network in the world. And we believe that's the technology. And even after this latest crisis with FTX and the fraud, if you look at the hash rate of the Bitcoin network, it is at an all-time high. And that is how you measure the security of the network. The problem with FTX is it was a centralized entity run by effectively one person. That is the antithesis of Bitcoin and really crypto. Agreed. We're talking about decentralization, transparency. You've got it in Bitcoin. No throat to choke. So it's the first global, think about that, very big idea, private, no government oversight, no throat to choke, automatic, right? Technology driven, digital, rules-based monetary system. This is a very big idea. 21 million units is as far as this is going. And we're at roughly 19 million Bitcoin right now.
By the way, did you know that 49 million Americans were victims of identity theft in 2020, and it ended up costing them a combined $56 billion? This isn't happening just to people who fall for phishing scams or use bad passwords. 37 billion records got hacked in 2020 alone from major social media sites, national grocery store chains, cryptocurrency exchanges, pharmacies, and phone and internet providers. That's why I am excited to partner with Aura, who is sponsoring this video. Aura's app uses AI and machine learning to protect your identity online. You tell Aura what email address, account numbers, and phone numbers you want monitored, and their algorithms scour the dark web, data brokers, and public records, and will alert you to any criminal activity fast. Aura's app also features a VPN that encrypts your browsing history and allows you to stay anonymous online. And their antivirus software will block malware and viruses before they infect your devices. Someone becomes a victim of identity fraud every 14 seconds. Don't be the next one. Click the link in the description to try Aura free for 2 weeks and see if your personal identifiable information has leaked to the dark web. And now, back to our video.
Data from the World Bank showed remittances from developed nations to developing or underdeveloped countries were $540 billion in 2020, at the time when the United Nations set the goal of driving the cost of international remittance down to 3% maximum. Worldwide, the UN revealed that there are 200 million migrant workers who send money to support their families. The beneficiaries are as many as 800 million individuals. This gives us an estimated number of about 900 million people using conventional mediums to transfer or receive money, which is usually at a high cost. Cathie Wood is banking on this huge number of people and the high volume of funds involved to flow into the Bitcoin market, thereby adding to the capitalization and daily utility of the cryptocurrency. And this number is increasing. According to the World Bank Migration and Development Brief, global remittances to low and medium-income countries had grown by 5% in 2022, taking the number to $626 billion. The service charge on these remittances can be very high in some cases, even exceeding 20%, but the average cost is about 6.5%. Cathie Wood believes that Bitcoin can be the desired alternative, and this could balloon the value of the cryptocurrency. But is this not risky for the users? What if another FTX situation happens? Cathie's answer is Bitcoin is decentralized and not susceptible to an FTX-like situation. The whole idea of blockchain technology was to remove reliance on human trustworthiness. Unfortunately, human interference has played a huge role so far. The world's biggest exchanges are all centralized exchanges that totally overshadow the essence of decentralization. Binance, Coinbase, and the defunct FTX are all centralized exchanges, and they bear the risks of human corruption and manipulations. DeFi could change this to an extent, but how much would they be allowed to operate autonomously? Besides, these points are not enough to take Bitcoin to $1 million per Bitcoin. So is there more we should take into consideration? Let's go back to Cathie Wood.
We believe that if you go into our Big Ideas 2021, you'll see the building blocks of the $1 million forecast. And so it starts with remittances. Substitute for gold is another one. Insurance policy against the confiscation of wealth. How does confiscation of wealth happen? It happens through inflation. And it happens through outright confiscation. I am sure that the relatives of MBS in Saudi Arabia, his cousins, did not expect him to extract their wealth, just take it away from them. And when they were at the Ritz Hotel, right? Wouldn't it have been nice to have a private key and then go over a border and reclaim or claim some of that wealth? So we think all individuals with wealth, wealthy individuals, will use something like Bitcoin being the most secure, as an insurance policy against the catastrophic loss of wealth. But if you look at the building
sort of like
blocks,
people having gold bars at home.
Exactly, which is part of the gold substitution. So you'll see the building blocks. We lay them out. The institutionalization, when we saw Mass Mutual put 100, which is one of the most conservative insurance companies in the United States, put $100 million of Bitcoin into its general account, we said, whoa, this is, think about all the regulatory hurdles it had to overcome. So we do think institutions are going to, that we may have set that back with the FTX until everybody sees the dust settle and really understands that that was a problem of centralization and fraud. But if you look at the underlying network, it didn't skip a beat. A hash rate at an all-time high, security never higher, and there are some meaningful use cases which will take it, we believe, to $1 million plus by the year 2030.
Gold has a market capitalization of about 12 trillion US dollars, making it one of the most valuable assets in the world. There are about 205,000 metric tons of gold already mined and in use as a store of value or being utilized for other purposes around the world. Bitcoin has been purported as digital gold by many Bitcoins in the past. How realistic is this claim? Many financial experts have argued that Bitcoin and gold are not the same and should not be compared. Gold, being a metal, is a commodity that can be used for multiple things and not just as a financial instrument. But indeed, Bitcoin could benefit a lot if it can convert those using gold as an investment hedge. Currently, the entire coin market capitalization is about $800 billion, a far cry from that of gold. Therefore, getting a fraction of gold's investors to move to Bitcoin could greatly benefit the cryptocurrency, which, as of the end of Q4 2022, had a valuation of $320 billion. Cathie Wood is also looking forward to more adoption of Bitcoin by the rich to secure their wealth. This could be because they do not want to disclose their wealth, or for protection from opposition governments that may be interested in seizing their assets. Finally, institutional investors are expected to start investing in cryptocurrencies. It should be noted that institutional investors had a rethink of investing in cryptocurrencies after the FTX collapse. It was an embarrassing experience for institutional investors that had put money into FTX. BlackRock, which is the largest asset management firm in the world, had participated in the $420.69 million funding round, and so did the Ontario Teachers' Pension Plan Fund. They both lost their investments when the crypto exchange failed. Regulations are expected to iron out the risk factors and encourage institutional investors to flood the crypto market. Are these reasons good enough for Cathie's incredible price prediction? Let me know in the comments. And if you like the video, click like, subscribe, and share below. Adios, and thanks for watching.